Hey guys, I'm Katie from It's a Creek Farm, and today I thought I would show you a little bit about the pumpkin scarring that we're doing on some of our pumpkins. Now this is our first year doing this, but we do have some that are finished, and I will show you what they look like. And they look really cool. So I'm going to be doing a few more. We have tons of pie pumpkins, and so even though the skin is harder on them, I thought that it would be good practice for me because next year I would like to have a whole bunch of these. So let me show you what I'm doing. So this one here is one that I did earlier, and it is the first one that I did, and the scarring on it is really cool. It's really raised and it looks awesome. I knew when I was doing it that it wouldn't come out well for the lettering because the rind was so hard, or the skin was so hard, that I knew I was missing some. So I'm going to try again. I have a few here, but I have tons that are ripe already. So I have plenty of pie pumpkins. They're all through here, so I thought I would try on these two and see if I can get better results on these ones. So before, I was just using this sharp pick. You could use like an X-Acto knife or something like that. I have, for my business, I have a whole bunch of these that I use as tools when I'm painting stuff, and if I'm using vinyl as a stencil or something like that. So this is a really nice straight sharp one, and that's what I used on that. So that's how the lettering is so fine on it, but it does make it hard to write. Now I have this wood chisel as well. There you go. I have this wood chisel as well that I'm going to be trying and seeing if that works a little better. And because coming up with these off the top of my head as I'm carving is kind of hard, I brought a Sharpie with so I can write out my design first and then carve it. So I think that'll make life a little simpler. So here's my design. It's similar to that one because that one didn't make it very well. And so I am going to I'm going to do my chisel on this one and see if that works. I used the chisel on one that I did for my nieces, and I did a big E in it for their last name, and that worked really well. And so I'm trying to chisel on these to see if that helps or makes it easier, especially with the tough skin that it has. It might be easier to do the carving with it. They're made for chiseling wood, so hopefully it works. I have the fall carved, and it works a lot better using that chisel. I actually think that if I got some thinner blades of these, that it would make life a lot easier, because on the smaller ones, which is really all I'm doing this year, it's a little wide, but it's working much better. So now I'm gonna take and I'm gonna carve this. I'm thinking I'm gonna do it with the pick that I used last time, because I know that it's super sharp, and if I have this traced, I should be able to follow the lines pretty easily. Alright, so I got this one done, and I did some in the sharp pick and some with the chisel, and we will see how it looks. I think it's going to look good. You can see here that when you carve it, it actually leaks goo. It's like sticky slime type stuff, and that is kind of what forms the scab. It's kind of like blood on a human, and so this will kind of get crusty, but that'll wash off, and then over here it'll actually form that scab. So I'm really excited and hoping that this one turns out well. And I'm gonna do another one on this little guy right here and do something simple so that it's easy, and try on a smaller one. On this one here, I'm just gonna do a simple block lettering. I think if I had an X-Acto knife, that this would actually be a lot easier because over here in this area, I ended up just using the curve of the blade of the chisel, and I just like would poke it down like that, poke it down in, and it worked really well. So I think if I went and got an X-Acto knife, it would be a lot easier than using this or this. And there we go. We got that one done. So that should look pretty cool. It's not perfect, obviously. I don't think these will ever be perfect. No matter how hard you try, you're working on growing produce, but I think it'll look really cool when it's done. I just found this one that I did last time that I forgot about. Let me show it to you. So that one looks really cool. It's also a pie pumpkin, so the shell is really hard, was really hard, and I used that pick again, but it turned out really well. Here's a Warty Goblet that I did. Since Warty Goblins are warty, obviously, I decided to just do boo on that one, something simple, and you can see here the warts. So this just happened to be a smooth side on it, and so I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool. So the warts are going to be dark purple actually, and then this will be orange, and then so that'll be all scarred on there. So that should look pretty cool. So that is what we're doing on just a handful of pumpkins, just to see if people like it, if they'll sell, something a little creative that I can do with them and give a little extra spice to our pumpkin stand and our pumpkin patch. But that's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will keep you posted on how these look, and we'll see you on the next video.